and the All Indiana Podcast Network. This is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Jenkins, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for Tuesday, March 11th. We begin with news on Indy's far west side, where police are working to learn more about a drive-by shooting that injured two teenagers. IMPD says shots were fired around 9:30 last night at a home on Butternut Lane just west of 10th and Country Club. Police say several people were inside the home at the time, but only two teenage boys were hit. They were taken to the hospital. At last check, they were reported as stable. Right now, police have not released details on a suspect vehicle, and no arrests have been made. On Capitol Hill, prosecutors have filed gun charges against the Indiana man shot by Secret Service agents outside the White House over the weekend. North Manchester, Indiana police alerted Washington, D.C. authorities about 27-year-old Andrew Dawson. Prosecutors in Wabash County told ITMA that Dawson has no known criminal history in the county. The North Manchester Police Department says that the Secret Service told them not to share further details about how they knew Dawson was traveling to Washington, D.C. He was taken to a hospital after Secret Service agents say they shot him for pulling a gun on agents outside the White House on Sunday. Right now, there is no update on his condition. While House Republicans say they are pushing for a vote as soon as today on a spending plan to avoid a partial government shutdown. They say the bill would fund the government through the fiscal year while cutting about $13 billion in domestic spending. The plan also adds money for defense and immigration enforcement. House Democrats are planning to back their own resolution without those spending cuts. With their opposition, House Speaker Mike Johnson can only afford to lose one Republican vote. The deadline to pass a spending bill is Friday. Back here in Indiana, the mayor of Westfield says a federal hiring freeze could cost the city. Last year, the city council ordered a special census, but now that count is on hold. News 8's Hernan Gutierrez reports.
Simply put, the mayor believes that the last census undercounted his city. That's why he and the city council approved spending money on this special census. But now, thanks to the Trump administration, the mayor says those potential benefits of a new head count might be put on hold.
So I'd like to get that money back. It's just kind of hanging out right now in dead man's land.
The 2020 census counted about 46,000 people in the city of Westfield. However, Mayor Scott Willis says his staff believes the population is now closer to 65,000. That's why the city cut a check for $1.8 million ordering a special census for this spring. They believe it could generate a bump of $1.6 million a year in funding. The mayor says that means the city would have made that money back in less than 2 years.
So when you see this rapid growth, we're not all being accounted for, and you could be giving up quite a bit of money.
On top of an increase in state reimbursements and tax revenue, the city was hoping to attract more businesses if they could show they're growing in population. However, Willis got word in late January about a hiccup. Because of the Trump administration's hiring freeze for federal civilian workers, there's no one around to do the head count.
I would argue that these are temporary hires that we're paying for, that we've already wrote a check for. So I think when you look at, what the federal government's trying to do versus how this is impacted, I don't think those two align.
The Republican mayor says he's not afraid of political retribution for speaking out on the issue.
That a hiring freeze and cutting of staff at the federal government level probably makes some sense, maybe a lot of sense. I just don't think it's an apples to apples comparison.
Instead, he wants a quick solution for his city. Willis says if the census can't be done, the city wants the refund, as they fear waiting any longer could jeopardize any potential returns.
We owe it to them to either reinvest it in roads or put it to good use, or at a minimum, worst case scenario, drawing a little bit of interest on it until that can be done.
Mayor Willis says that he has been in touch with congressional Republicans like Congresswoman Victoria Spartz and Senators Jim Banks and Todd Young. I did reach out to the U.S. Census Bureau for comments, but I have not heard back yet. Reporting in Westfield, I'm Hernan Gutierrez for WishTV, WishTV.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
Let's talk sports. The first day of free agency is in the books for the Colts. Offensive lineman Braden Smith is among the players locking in new deals. He has agreed to a restructured contract to stay in Indy for one more year before becoming a free agent. General Manager Chris Ballard also says the Colts have agreed to a 4-year, $60 million deal with former Vikings safety Cameron Bynum. The Colts say they have also agreed to a 3-year contract with ex-49ers cornerback Charvarius Ward. Well, Tyrese Halliburton missed his 3rd straight game with a hip injury as the Pacers took on the Chicago Bulls last night. Indiana got off to a strong start. Andrew Nembhard with the steal, setting up with Ben Mathurin for the bucket and the foul. But the momentum did not last. The Pacers fell behind in the second half and lost to Chicago 121-103. They are back home tonight to face the Milwaukee Bucks. Tip-off is at 7:30. And when it comes to the weather, Storm Track 8 says we have a warm week ahead of us. Meteorologist Tara Hastings has your News 8 Daily 8 forecast.
It was gorgeous yesterday, even better today. In fact, we could see our first 70-degree reading of the year here. A live look at the Indianapolis Zoo. We've got mostly clear conditions. Not as chilly as what it was yesterday morning. We're in the 30s this morning. We're coming in at 49 degrees right now. Southwest winds at 9 miles per hour. It's creating a feels like temp coming in at about 45. We're at 47 in South Bend, 48 in Kokomo, 43 in Richmond. Still at 52 degrees right now in Bloomington and 47 degrees right now in the Evansville area. We do have mostly clear skies across the entire state. We are watching a cold front to the north and west of us. But this cold front doesn't have any cloud cover with it. It doesn't have any rain with it, but it does have a wind shift line. And this front is going to slide a little bit farther southward, kind of stall out right around northern sections of Indiana. So it'll keep northern Indiana a little bit cooler this afternoon. But heading into the central and southern part of the state, we're going to see those temperatures into the 70s today. Your forecast, 62 degrees at lunchtime, and we'll get up to about the lower 70s here in Indianapolis. 71 Indy, Bloomington, 72 in Columbus. But you go just a bit farther northward, like Lafayette, Kokomo, mid-60s, and even farther northward, Lake and Porter counties, LaPorte County, also into South Bend, you're going to be staying into the 50s, all thanks to that front. Now, we are going to look for this continued warmth here. We'll talk about how long it will stick around in my full forecast.
To get a peek at Tara's full forecast, just head over to wishtv.com, or you can download the Wish TV Storm Track 8 app. And don't forget to check out our Storm Track 8 weather blogs. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Tuesday, March 11th. I'm Jeremy Jenkins for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.